What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. In today's video, I'm going to talk about selling every single item in my store, and I'm specifically talking today to people who have slow sales or a lot of items in their store that are not selling. So please make sure you watch all the way to the end of the video. I have some ideas for you. All right guys, let's get straight into it. So I listed 35 items in my Poshmark closet. My Poshmark closet is Reseller Nirvana, that's the name of my new closet. I listed 35 items and I actually lied a little bit. I still have 2 items remaining. I have a pair of Sorel boots and a pair of baby Jordans. So sold almost everything, but I sort of am doing an experiment right now. Can I sell all my items pretty much within 30 days? Right now you see this shelf right here. This shelf is about 6 feet wide and it's about 6 feet tall. So this shelf right here can hold 500 items with my inventory system, which I've gone over in several different videos. But if you could just have 500 items and sell 300 per month, which is 10 per day, then you wouldn't need more space than just one shelf. And of course, most people have way more inventory than this, or maybe they're just starting and they want to make sure that the footprint of their store is not too big. Well, I'm sort of encouraging you guys, if you get a shelf, make sure you get one with adjustable shelves so you can figure out what type of boxes, what type of containers work for you. You can be in everything store as long as things sell really fast. I know a lot of people say that I'm complaining about everything sellers and saying you'll never be successful, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is, if you specialize in just one thing, you're gonna reach your goals usually much faster because you only need one photo setup for a certain type of thing and one shipping setup and one listing setup, and everything is sort of similar, and you're kind of just listing similar things over and over again. So currently in my Poshmark closet, even though I have 35 items, I still have already 10 sales per day. The last 2 days, I had 13 sales on Poshmark, and what I'm doing is I'm cherry picking what is selling well and just selling similar, the same types of things. So I'm buying store returns right now currently, and I'm just relisting the styles that are selling well, whatever they are, sneakers, if they're sandals, whatever is doing well, I'm just listing more of that thing. So as I go out thrifting, I'm actually looking for similar stuff. As weird as this sounds, I've actually found some Echo shoes that I'm selling used. So I'm paying a lot more than the used price for a brand new item, but I already know where the market is because I am the market on the new pair. So as you're building out your store, the way to really save time and save space is to buy things that are similar in size and similar in brand, similar in style, because you've already done the research before. So when I say don't be in everything store, I'm not sure why people are offended by that, because I'm just saying it's easier if you don't have to do the research over again. So people are commenting like, well, of course it doesn't take you very long. You're listing the same types of things. That's sort of the point. I don't want to list a whole bunch of different things. And this space right here this room is 15 by 15. It's 225 square feet. It's the size of a 1-car garage. It's actually pretty luxurious in here. We'll do a little bit of B-roll and show you guys like my photo setup. I'm going to set up a shipping station. I might just actually move the shipping station that I have outside in here because I already have one, and I don't know if I want to build a 3rd shipping station, but inside here, I want to demonstrate exactly what it takes to build a business on your own. I still stand by eBay and Poshmark, Mercari, Amazon being the easiest business in the world because you don't need to make the product. As a reseller, I'm focusing on optimizing my store, listing, keywords, photos. I'm not optimizing the product. Normally when you make a product, you need to come up with something like the actual product, the manufacturing, the delivery, everything from A to Z. When you resell, you're just looking for items that are already really good, that you're buying at a price that, this is really important, you can sell today if you had to. So for people who have slow sales, my advice is, why don't you just discount your entire store to what you paid for it, get your original investment back, and try again, buy different types of items that will sell faster. I know now my store, the slowest selling shoes are the color red. So I'm gonna use the money from my sales on those red shoes. I'm gonna have to sell those for a lot cheaper. I'm gonna use those sales to buy different colors. For me, the sales have been best with white and black sneakers. So I'm just gonna focus on that for me in the categories that I know and the brands that I know. So it's difficult to take one piece of information from a reseller you hear online and that be your goal. In the morning call, there's a lady that said, can you give me exact instructions? And there's no such thing. I can't say, go down to the store, ask for Rob the manager and say, I'm looking for the $20 profit sandals. And he's gonna say, I don't know what you're talking about. He's not gonna say, go over to aisle number 8 in the 3rd row down, all of those are $20 profit, all of those are ready to list. And how you list them is also in a little pamphlet right at the end of the aisle. It doesn't work like that. You have to figure it out along the way. So I'm gonna keep saying this quote because I really love it from Maya Angelou, which is, do the best you can until you know better, and then do better. So as I'm building the system, you can see how I've only built one shelf and I only have one box because I'm still testing. I wanna make sure this system works for me before I build out this giant elaborate thing. I wanna make sure it's working. And it's also encouraging me to buy the best items I can, put the best items in the store, to have the least number of items that you have. So how many items do you need before you have regular sales? When I listed the 35 items into my Poshmark closet 2 Fridays ago, it takes 1 day for Poshmark to review your listings. Starting the next day, Saturday, from then till now, I haven't had a day without regular sales. Every single day I've had at least 6 sales on Poshmark, and of the used items, I sold at least 1 a day this entire time, and at this point, I only have these 2 shoes left. That being said, this is really important. This pair of Sorel boots, I paid $4 for at the flea market. If I wanted to sell this today, I could discount it to $10 plus shipping. I guarantee you it will sell in 1 day. I don't need to wait. I can get $7 back on Poshmark after, and now I can go buy almost 2 more items to put into my store. Now, this is one of those items that it doesn't make sense to discount that. I don't need to discount the $10 for it to move, but I think you know what I'm saying. If you have an item like, for example, this toddler pair of Jordans, this pair, not as many people are looking for this size, and it's a Jordan 7 and it's used, and a lot of people buy new stuff for their babies, especially since it's cheaper than the adult version. Maybe if I discount that really cheap, it doesn't move in 1 day. So I encourage you guys to take this humility pill right now. Here's the challenge. Discount your entire store to what you paid plus the fees for 1 month. Not forever, just for 1 month, discount your entire store to what you paid plus fees. So if you paid $4 an item, discount your entire store to $5.99 plus shipping for a month. See what happens. See if you can get all that money from all your bad purchases right in the beginning and try to get that out. Somebody in the morning call also suggested that for the first 2,000 items in their store, they would sell them all for $1 because they really didn't know what they were doing. Maybe they picked up things with flaws, with issues. And those items, they wouldn't even feel comfortable charging people what they paid because they weren't even good enough. Like they would just pass on those items. So this should be really humbling. Discount every single item in your store to $2 or $3 above what you paid for it, plus shipping. See what happens. If you're still not getting sales, it's not an eBay problem. I think that there's a saying that just because it's not your fault doesn't mean it's not your responsibility. Let's just say right now I give in to all the haters on eBay and or on YouTube, and they say eBay is the problem, the platform is the problem, USPS is the problem, my uncle is the problem, my parents didn't teach me anything, I wasn't born rich, all these excuses. Let's just say I believe you. All of those excuses are valid. And, right? And what? You're just gonna do nothing? I feel like all those things happen, but now you still need to get to work and make items sell. So the first 35 items I listed, I went in there, I asked the group, what's the best way to structure titles? Did the best research I could in all the different shoe stores that were selling shoes in the same categories as mine to try to figure out what titles work the best, what order. Now, every single shoe going into my store will have the exact same title. I'm gonna do the same thing with clothing. As I get my clothing store going, I'm gonna work out the best way I wanna write titles and the way that I want to do them that I think is gonna rank the best, and I'm gonna leave it the same forever. I think it's really interesting because my wife is kind of like tech and sports. She doesn't have this like creativity bug that I have, like trying to do it my way. She just asked me who's doing it the best way, and I said, so far tech and sports has sold hundreds of thousands of items and made millions of dollars, and she said, I will just do it his way. I don't need to do all this research. I don't need to figure anything out. I'll just do it his way because millions of dollars is good. That's even more money than I even need. I don't even need to make $1 million, so I should be able to do what he does in a lot less time. I am now moving more towards that direction. I can tell you for sure that using this system takes up way less space than any other type of system, but it is a lot of extra work creating a numbering system and putting all these items in the bags. So I didn't need an inventory system for my first 35 items, but I'm gonna use these bags and I'm gonna put one number on here for the SKU, and I'm gonna do it chronologically. So this would be item number 1, the Sorel boots would be item number 2, and I can go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 500 on this rack. This rack can fit 500 pairs of shoes. However, it can fit 1,000 to 1,100 clothing items. So it's to my best advantage to find only clothing items because they take up a lot less space. So that's why I am selling clothing, because it's in abundance and it doesn't take up a lot of space. Now, I could sell vacuum cleaners, I could sell kettlebells, I could sell microwaves. It would take up more space and I would need a bigger footprint. I am really happy because my warehouse has this little cute 15 by 15 room inside of it, and I want to capitalize on having this room be perfect. Have a little desk over here, a little photo station. This is like my oasis. I can come here and knock it out. I don't know if I want to do this store forever, but I haven't had any issue with listing every day so far. Now that I know what I'm doing, I feel like listing is pretty easy. I haven't had a day where I didn't list at least one new item. I'm also listing replenishables where I have more than one. I'm not counting adding one to the same listing. That's not the same thing in my opinion. Add one new replenishable listing every single day and you can watch your profits grow really fast, because you have item A that's selling all the time, add item B that's selling really fast, add item C, and overall you get to stack how many replenishable products are in your store. So I'm doing both the used model. All my items are coming from the flea market. You may have to travel really far. A lot of people said that in the morning call this morning on our live. What if I have to travel for my flea market? To me, that makes total sense, because a flea market, as my wife put it and as Tech and Stores put it, is like 100 garage sales all in a straight line. It's worth it. Instead of going to the garage sales in your area, maybe just spend one day driving to a different state, go to that flea market all day, buy all your items you need for the week, come home, don't need the source for another week, get all your items knocked out. And eventually you're gonna get like a certain amount of overage, and I'd recommend 2 weeks. So as I transform this store and my Whatnot store, I'm gonna aim towards just having 2 weeks of inventory, 2 weeks of stock. So I'm gonna find the best stuff I can for 2 weeks. Sometimes you overbuy because you think that you need that extra stuff, but I'm telling you, you don't. I'd rather have all the money and none of the things. I was just thinking about how many people listening right now are inventory rich, but cash poor. Lots of stuff in their store. Big stores, big death piles, no money in the bank. I'm actually okay with not having anything. If my inventory system looked like this every single day and all the money was in my bank account and not in inventory, I'm okay with that now. I've already seen so much stuff reselling this. I have sold definitely over 1 million items now at this point. I'm not attached to anything. I'm wearing Old Navy right now and I'm perfectly content with this shirt. I don't need anything fancy. Everything fancy to me is kind of weird because the same shirt is available with a different logo for $2. So I'm really excited today, guys, because this method of thinking about having the smallest store possible should change the way that you look at it, and I want you guys to try that challenge. If your sales are slow, please discount your entire store to $3 over what you paid for it. And if you're still not selling items, then it should hit you like a ton of bricks. Like, wow, my listings are really poor. I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm buying stuff that people don't want. Testimonial, I'm gonna throw this comment up here so you guys can see it, but this lady went from 6 weeks of slow sales to 250 sales immediately after she started changing her title structure from learning that in our group. So it can be turned around like this as long as you actually fix your listings. So many people were getting on my case about the delist, relist, delist, sell similar debacle, but really my point is, when you're ending a listing and relisting it, do a better job and redo it. And if you're gonna redo it in the first place, you don't need the delist, relist it. You can just update and improve. Update and improve, you're gonna get that sale because eBay is gonna have a better time finding that customer. And the final thought is, what happens when you list something on eBay is, eBay's algorithm gives it to a few people, like person A, B, C, and they see how A, B, and C react to that item. Right? And if A, B, and C look at the title and leave, and they can tell by the mouse and the way people's behavior, where they're doing on the page, if they leave immediately, for D, E, and F, for the next 3 people, eBay is either gonna try some different way to get them to go further down the listing, or they're gonna give that traffic to somebody else. So when you make those adjustments and the new people see it, and they scroll title, photos, item specifics, price, buy it, then eBay knows, wow, this seller knows what they're doing, because customers are evaluating the whole listing and then making a purchase. Let's give more customers these types of listings. So think about it analytically and not emotionally. I think that my final thought is that right now I'm doing toddler training, and when the toddler gets angry, you're supposed to tell them, okay, when it gets angry, just acknowledge that you're upset, and there's 10 things you can do. You can count to 10, you can walk, you can talk to your mom, you can talk to your friend, and then after that, get back to the task at hand. And for some reason, even though we're all adults on YouTube, people complain and they don't do anything after. So appreciate you guys. Until next time, make progress daily.